Hello, everyone. We are so excited to be here today to be talking all about the GX Plus board. And I brought Jana because she is our GX Plus Pro, whether she'd like to admit it or not. What I'm going to do really quick is give Jana the opportunity to introduce herself if you've not had the pleasure of working with her yet. Jana?
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Mish. My name's Jana. Like Mish mentioned, I'm an education solutions consultant with Smart, and I am in the Southern Pod. So I help our teachers feel comfortable and confident with Smart Solutions.
We are so very lucky to have her. And if we haven't crossed paths yet, my name is Michelle, and I also work here at Smart, and I'm the learning and community designer. I'm the one behind the scenes helping with webinars, working on the academy, and all the resources that help you with your implementation. And so with that, I am going to pass it right over to Jana, who's going to take it away here.
Awesome. Thanks, Mish. Mish is going to work on getting up a second screen just so that you guys have more of an up close view of what I'm going to be showing you today. So you'll see me, pushing the buttons on the board and maneuvering the board. But I know sometimes it's a little difficult to see from a distance. So hopefully the up close view will give you a better indication of where I am pointing and pushing. All right, so we're going to start with the very first thing that you should do when you access your GX Plus, and that's to access your unique user profile. So for the GX Plus, you can have up to 10 unique user profiles. Why would you want your own user profile? Because in a little bit, I'm going to also show you how you're going to access your files, whether they are on your Google Drive or your OneDrive, and you're going to want to have those secured behind a pin. So the first thing to do in order to access your user profile is to do a little swipe down from the top of the board. So I just go to the top and swipe it down. And then if you notice in the center part of the board towards kind of the bottom, there's a little icon with a little person. So I'm going to choose that person icon. And you can see some of the user profiles that I've already set up on my GX Plus. It will default to say owner profile, but you can change that to say teacher, so it's a little bit more intuitive, or maybe even your name. I also set up a substitute profile. In this case, I don't put a pin on that one, so anyone could actually access that profile. And you can do something very similar from the guest profile as well. If you are selecting a new profile in the very beginning, you can just click that little plus button to add a user. And then it will ask, do you want to add a user? That's where you can select the name for that user and also put a pin on that user. Just for time's sake today, I'm not going to set up a new user, but again, you can access those user profiles from a little swipe down and then that little profile icon towards the middle bottom. All right, moving right along. Let's say that you've accessed your user profile, you're in and you're ready to set up your GX Plus, access all of your files and kind of customize your home screen to fit your unique class flow. I really like to highlight that the GX Plus is very tablet-like friendly or smartphone friendly. So if you are used to either one of those devices, then you're going to find that using the GX Plus is a very simple process in order to follow. So things like long pressing the backdrop will give you some additional customization settings. Notice I can change the wallpaper. I can add and customize some widgets. I can access my home settings. Things like long pressing the apps that are on your board allows me to notice how I can move them around. I can group them into folders and rename those folders. I was a math teacher, so love having a calculator and Desmos on hand for something, really fast that I want to do with my students. So again, it's a great way to customize and personalize that home screen to fit your unique needs in the classroom as a teacher. So again, I really encourage you to just customize this, move those apps around, play with it, long press them, and see what you can do for that. Now we're going to hop down to the bottom part of our GX Plus, and we're going to look at what I like to call the navigation bar. I really love the simplicity of the navigation bar. It really just makes it really intuitive, and not a whole lot of options is always sometimes a great thing. So starting from the left and to the right, we've got our little home icon. So whatever application you have open, whether it's the browser or the whiteboard or you have a file open, you can just simply click that little home button icon and it will return you back to your home screen. The next one over is the back button. So very similarly, whatever application you have open, you can then select that button and it will return you to the previous application that you had open. The next one here is the screenshot and split screen button. I'm going to come back to this one in a little bit and really show you how it works. But notice down here in the bottom center that this is where you can select a screenshot of anything that you've done on the screen. So if you've opened up a browser and done some inking and taken some notes with your students, you can absolutely grab a screenshot of that. And then you can also split screen with two applications as well. So great for classroom use. I also like to mention that this is where you will manage your apps. So if you do need to close a particular app for any reason, you can always just select that app and swipe up. So very similar to a smartphone. And then the last one over here on the navigation bar, the one to the far right, is some geometric shapes. I like to call that the app drawer. So all of the out-of-the-box apps that come downloaded on your GX Plus are going to live in this app drawer. Any that you also would like to download on your panel, but maybe not have on your home screen, they can also live in this app drawer. So you can have it as clean as you would like. Let's say that you do have an app in here that you are frequently using. For example, I really like the Files Manager one. I like to have easy access to my files on my home screen. I'm just going to long press that widget, that app widget, and I'm going to drag and drop it to my home screen. Again, just to make my life as a teacher a little bit easier to have access to those files quickly. Speaking of files, let's take a look at the Files Manager, because what really makes the GX Plus a great teaching tool is having access to all of your teaching files, whether you're a Google Drive user or OneDrive user, at your fingertips. So being able to import and pull up those files and use them in your everyday teaching on your interactive smartboard is invaluable. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that Files Manager and show you where you can connect those cloud drives to your GX Plus within your unique profile. So I clicked that app manager icon and I'm going to go all the way over here to the far left. Notice that the center icon says cloud drive. I'm going to select that cloud drive icon. I already have my Google Drive connected since this is my Smart GX Plus board, but I'm going to show you what it would look like if you were adding a new cloud drive to your profile. I'm going to select the little circle button here with the plus in the middle. And then notice once I do that, it's going to give me the option to add an account. Once I add an account, you're going to see the two cloud drive options that you can connect to your GX Plus to have ease of use for pulling your files. So I could absolutely connect my Google Drive if I had not already done that, and or also connect my OneDrive to have access to those files as well. So again, a great teaching companion whenever you are accessing files that you use every single day or files that you have in there that you want to use with students. So love that about the GX Plus. One thing I do recommend is that if you are connecting your cloud files, that you make sure that your account, whether you're the owner or one of the additional 10 profiles on your GX Plus, has a secure PIN on it. And you do that whenever you set up the profile account. That way that those files are secure behind your unique PIN. All right, I'm going to go back to the home screen here, and we are going to look at one more thing before we hop into one of my favorite features of the GX Plus, the whiteboard. Before we hop in, though, I want to point out that on both the left and the right side, they're pretty small right now, but if you look really far to the left and really far to the right, there's two little indicators that there is a toolbar there. So I'm going to open up one of them. I really like this because it doesn't discriminate between lefties and righties, which is really great. And notice how I get a toolbar here with some additional classroom management widgets in there. I really encourage you to check these widgets out. There's some great options in there. You can also customize this toolbar to only display the widgets that you are frequently using. This is also where you're going to access the settings on your GX Plus. So if you're looking for something like, changing the screen brightness or, looking for a unique setting, definitely open up that settings icon and do a little search for that. The input button is there, and then notice I have the calculator app there. I'm going to go ahead and select that more and just kind of give you a quick little peek at what is in there for your classroom management tools. You've got a timer, a stopwatch, the spotlight feature, which is really cool. Love seeing that used in a variety of different ways. A freeze button, love the picture in picture, and you can even record on the GX Plus. So notice that record icon down at the bottom. Remember I mentioned that you can customize this toolbar. So if I hit, let me open it back up again, the more button. If I hit that edit button right there, notice that then it allows me to move some of these icons around. So if I'm not really using the calculator very often, but I use the timer every day in my class, then I am going to move that widget over there so that it's easy to access and I can easily pull up a timer and get started right with my class period that day. So really great classroom management tools and options in there. Definitely check out them and see which ones fit your unique classroom needs the best. All right, let's hop into one of my favorite features of the GX Plus, and that is going to be the whiteboard. So I'm going to open up the whiteboard. That's going to be this little app right here, widget app that says whiteboard. And notice it opens up to a blank white screen, but there's some great customization things that we can do in here. And I'm going to show you how I utilize this in the classroom. So starting down here on the far left bottom corner, there is a menu button. I definitely recommend checking out that menu button. I can start a new whiteboard, open some things, save some things, import, which I'm going to do in just a little bit, show you how to import from those cloud drives that we connected earlier. Export if I wanted to save this whiteboard and then share it with students later, and I'll show you how to do that as well. And then I can also have some settings within my whiteboard as well. So definitely open up the settings. You can select what kind of eraser mode you want. If you would like multi-point writing, there's also some translation languages down here. So you'll notice in a little bit when I do some inking, you can have the ability to translate that text. So make sure that you download some of those translation languages. And then just like the toolbar on the far left or right, you can also customize the toolbar on the whiteboard. So you can see it down here at the bottom right now. I like a pretty simple look, but you can absolutely customize that toolbar and add some of the most frequently used features in there if you would like. I'm going to hop out of the settings, but I'm going to go back to that menu button, that hamburger, those three horizontal lines there in the bottom left, and just show you really quickly how you can change the theme of the background. Notice there's some great built-in graphic organizers here, or some themes or some backgrounds, or I can just do a simple color change. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to change brown to purple. Make it a little bit easier to see as well. We'll go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and import something in. So just like if I were starting a new lesson that day, it's likely that I'm going to start with some content that I already have. So I'm going to go right back again to that menu button, and I am going to import, and notice all the different file types that you can import into your whiteboard within the GX Plus. I am going to grab a PDF, and I know that I have some PDFs saved in my cloud drive. I know that I have some in that Google Drive. So I'm going to go ahead and select my Google Drive. And then I believe I was a math and science teacher, so my go-to is going to always be a math or science assignment. And I know that I was recently doing some lessons on the water cycle. So you'll notice that in just a matter of seconds, that PDF that was saved in my Google Drive is now on my GX Plus within the whiteboard, and I can immediately pick up my pen and begin inking. So, whoops. Change that right there. There we go. Perfect. Change that. Make sure I've got a good color here. There we go. And maybe we're coming in and we are labeling the steps of this water cycle here. So we're looking at evaporation. Speaking of the pen, your GX Plus is going to come with 2 pens. Notice the pens have 2 different ends. So it's a really fun pen. Really encourage you to check out the customization features with this unique pen as well. You saw me briefly touch the pen icon down at the bottom. I'm going to push it again so you can see some of the additional customizations there. Notice that it does differentiate. That little second icon is like the thinner end of your pen. And then the other side is going to be the thicker end of your pen. And notice the customizations that you can do for both sides of your pen. So we've got some really fun writing tools, whether you want to use the paintbrush or the pencil, all the way down to ink to text and even the magic wand. The magic wand is really great for people like me who are terrible at writing. So it kind of incorporates AI. And as you begin to draw, it will predict what you are trying to draw and then make that a clip art image. So really cool little tool there. And again, you can customize both sides of your pen to fit whatever works for you. But in this case, we'll leave it like this. And what I would probably do next is I want to find a little bit more information about evaporation for my students. So I'm going to circle the word evaporation. Oops, let's try that again. Actually, let's do this. There we go. It was trying to grab my PDF in there and not recognizing that it was my ink. So this is a better way of showing you all the different things that you can get by inking on the board and the additional references and resources that you can get. So I was trying to grab that PDF in there, so this will show you a little bit better. So I just used my finger and I circled the word like a selector tool. And then notice how I can smart write it, which will change it to text if I need to. There's that translate button, which is really great if you have some students that need, a little additional language help. There's some additional features in here as well, but I really love the icon in the middle, the one that says search. If I hit the word search, it gives me the option to search from Google or from Wikipedia. So I'm just going to select Google. And then notice how it automatically brings up a Google browser. And I've got some additional information on evaporation, which is really cool. So simple, quick way to get some additional information. I'm going to really quickly go back to that split screen tab down in the navigation bar, because this is where I'd probably really utilize that split screen tab. So I'm going to go back to my navigation bar down here in the middle. It's the third icon from the left, the one with the little square and 2 horizontal lines. And I'm going to select that icon, then hit the word split. And then I'm going to choose that whiteboard that I was working on. And notice now I've got my page of information from Google, and I've got my whiteboard open where I can continue to ink and take notes if I want to. I can also change my split screen to be 75-25 if 50-50 is not what you're looking for, and a simple double tap in the middle will also reverse them. So again, lots of great customizations to fit whatever you are looking for in the classroom. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Down here at the bottom next to the pen, you've got an eraser. I also can ink with my pen. If you don't want to use the eraser button at the bottom, you can always take your palm or your fist and also use that as an eraser as well. There is a really quick clear all button and then an undo. Before we hop out of the whiteboard, I do want to continue on and show you a couple more really cool features in that next icon, the one to the far right, called More. If I open up that More, you're going to see some really great additions that you can add to this whiteboard to make it enhance your lessons even more. So you've got a ruler, a shape, some sticky notes. I really like the mind map. So if I were to continue my lesson on the water cycle, notice as I write, my mind map does continue to grow. So I could add evaporation, precipitation, condensation, and so on. So again, a really great tool that can be utilized in every subject out there. Mind map there. I'm going to go back to my table or my more button. Notice next to the mind map is a table. There's a grid. I'm going to skip that pair mode because I'm going to come back and show you that in just a second. And there's some additional great things in here like the periodic table if you're a chemistry teacher. The planets are really cool. And before I show you that pair mode, I'm going to really quickly show you the simulations here. So SMART has an integration with PhET, and there are some fantastic simulations built right into this whiteboard. So I encourage you to check these out if you're a math or science teacher. They're available for all grades, and you can simply select one and integrate it right into your whiteboard. It can be utilized as a whole class lesson, or you could even utilize your Smart GX Plus as a station. Students love to touch the boards, come up, manipulate, and use the board themselves. I'm going to go back to that more button. And again, here at Smart, we really encourage you to be button pushers. Push all the buttons, open up everything, really look to see what works for you and what you teach. But one that I really do like to point out, especially in these getting started sessions that can be utilized in every classroom, is that pair mode. So I'm going to select pair mode. And for this particular demonstration, I'm just going to do 3 people. But you absolutely could change it to 4 or have 2 as well. And then I'm going to change the different colors. Let's see, we'll leave black on that one. I'm going to change this one to green and this one to red. And you could have multiple students up here either writing notes, doing a word problem or a math problem, all simultaneously. And what's great is they're not going to get in each other's way. So I can ink on the first section, ink on this. Oh, that's a little hard to see. Let's change that. Maybe does the blue show up a little bit better? And then the next one as well. So notice that the students are not going to be able to crisscross into each other's spaces. So highly encourage you to check out the pair mode and use this with your students. The last thing that I wanted to mention, I'll do a quick clear all to remove those the distractions. One more thing before I pass back to Mish is you can definitely share this whiteboard. So whether you have taken time to take a bunch of notes or your students have come up and contributed content to your whiteboard, there are multiple ways that you can share. You can export. You can even grab a quick QR code. Notice it's saving that file. And you can scan that QR code with your device and it'll save in PDF format for a really quick way to add to your LMS or email out to students, whatever that looks like for you. Before I exit out of this, notice at the bottom that I do not have the home icon. How do I get back to my home screen? If you're ever in an application and you're looking for that navigation bar, it's a simple swipe up from the bottom, and then I select the home button and it navigates me right back to the home screen. All right, I showed you some of my favorite features of the GX. I love the customization. I love the simplicity. But even though it's simple, it still has all of the tools, and you have access to all of the tools that you use on a daily basis and the ability to incorporate those resources into the teaching tools like the whiteboard and enhance them with some of those classroom management widgets and tools as well. All right, Mish, passing it back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Jana, so much for sharing your knowledge with us. I hope that everyone is walking away with one new thing that they can try with their GX Plus board. And if you feel like, hey, I need just a little bit more time to practice, just a couple of reminders for you. This webinar is being recorded. So if you registered for it, you will get it emailed to you directly in just a few days. Otherwise, you'll be able to find the recording as well on our Smart Technologies YouTube page. If you like that self-paced guided experience, we do have a Smart Academy. And on there are 2 courses that you can take specifically for your GX Plus board. There is a Getting Started with GX Plus board course, and there's one that specifically focuses just on the whiteboard. And then if you're not yet, we would love to have you join our Smart Ambassador platform. On there, you can see any updates that are coming up, connect with teachers from all over the world that have the same board as you. And it's just a really good place to connect. And if we ever see you at a conference, we love to hang out with our ambassadors as well. If you have any questions following this webinar or any of the resources, the email is right on the bottom of the screen there. You can email us at globalcommunities@smarttech.com. And with that, I'm just going to quickly drop a few links for you in the chat of this call. The first one is going to be a link to apply to our ambassador platform. The second one is going to be directly to our YouTube page, specifically the videos that we have on your GX Plus board. Then you've got the link directly to the Academy where you can make an account if you have not yet, and then you can find the ones that are for the GX Plus board. And last but not least, if you'd like a certificate for attending this webinar, I've also included in the chat the link to submit the survey. Once you complete that, you will get your certificate. Let's give a big thank you to Jana again for helping us with our GX Plus webinar, teaching us all the great things, and we'll see you all next time.